Hi, I want to talk to you today about something that I've been meaning to talk about for about 5 months, 4 months. So it's a little bit late, but better late than never. It's around about my birthday time, which is in March. My wife got me a great present, and it was the LG G Watch Android Wear smartwatch. And at the time, I was quite ungracious about this gift, considering it was such an expensive gift. When I saw the box and I opened it, I knew that there was no use case for me to have a smartwatch in my life. So after playing with it for a few minutes, really, I asked my wife if she could return that. It was an Amazon purchase, so it was easy to return, which she did, and that was the end of it. I played with it a little while. It had a nice round screen. It was incredibly well made. It was a fantastic piece of technology, and I think actually, although it was expensive, it's probably worth every penny. It's a very well made device. But I was wearing a Fitbit at the time. I didn't wear a watch. If I need to tell the time, I would get my telephone out. Look, there you go. You got the time right on there. However, a few months later, Apple released their smartwatch, and it piqued my interest in the subject again because so many people were talking about it. And I quite like the idea of being able to watch YouTube on my wrist, especially if I'm sitting in the bath. If I had a waterproof watch with YouTube on and a speaker, that'd be fantastic. Now, unfortunately, none of those technologies exist. We're still in its infancy. However, at the time, there was a watch that was neat because it had built-in GPS. It also had built-in Wi-Fi, and it would work on Android Wear. It's an Android Wear watch. And that was the Sony, or Sony, if you're, some Americans pronounce it, SmartWatch 3. So it's currently off at the moment, so I'm going to hold it like this. Let's see if I can power it on and talk to you. Try to avoid all these reflections in the screen. And basically, it's very much like a fitness band watch if you're used to wearing a Fitbit or one of those Nike fuel meters. It's got a very nice clasp mechanism. I'm going to put this in front of my face so it'll focus on this clasp. There we go. Nice Sony logo. It actually can pop out. The watch strap itself isn't traditional. It's like a frame. So the actual watch unit itself can pop out there, and I'm guessing you can get other frames. Other frames. I mean other straps for this. I'm just going to snap it back in. Right. And there we go. And if I can get this to focus on it, but yeah, it's a very neat watch, and you'll see all sorts of reviews about these online. Very nice clasp. Neat thing. I have it so that the screen is off until I want to use it, and when I tilt my wrist, the clock face comes up there. And there's some neat functions. So if there's a message on the screen, like a Facebook alert, you can flick your wrist and it will scroll up and down through the messages. You can do your OK Google. The voice recognition is superb on this. In fact, as I said that, I could see in the corner of my eye, my phone has actually burst into life. It's starting to listen to me. Now, these are quite expensive. Still, I don't know what the current price is, but I think they're about at least £150, something like that, 180. I managed to get this one for the grand sum delivered of £80, and that's the only reason I bought it, is because I got a deal on it. I got it cheap. And the reason was because it's second hand. It's not very old. It was pretty much brand new. But the previous owner, I think their kid or something, I'm going to turn this inside out, had somehow managed to pull the battery door off, the charging port. Okay, so I have bought a generic USB cover. It's only a dust cover. I think it's still waterproof. And that just covers that there. And that's another great benefit of this smartwatch 3 is that it doesn't have, unlike the LG watch that I had, it doesn't require any special charging base. You can just plug that into the same mini USB or micro USB rather that your telephone uses, or your Bluetooth headset. So you don't need to carry any extra chargers with you in a bag. The battery life is pretty good. I would say with regular normal use it's about 2 days. So if you're like me and you work at a desk, and I do software programming a lot of the time, so I like to take my watch off so it doesn't get in the way, and while I take it off I normally just throw it on the charger, and I rarely have this watch under 70%. So yeah, it's a nice little thing. I haven't really found a use case for the inbuilt GPS. I like the idea of it if I was going for a run or a jog, but to be honest, you always have your phone in your pocket. I'm really waiting for the technology to evolve so that I can buy a watch which has LTE built in, so that I can leave my telephone at home. I know there's various third-party Chinese Android smartwatch phone combinations in which you can put a GSM chip in your watch and use it as a mobile phone, but they're very bulky. So I think maybe the next generation, this is the 3rd generation watch, I think maybe the 4th generation watches from Sony and LG are going to have that technology. You can leave your phone at home, and then there will be a genuine use case for these watches. So if you're thinking about buying one, Google online for one of these. If you can get it for a steal like I did, then give it a go. If you want mine, I might sell that at the same cost I paid for it. So drop me a line in the comments and I'll let you have this one. Yeah, all in all, I guess the technology's come along. And just so you know, there's no speakers in these things. So if you want to listen to sound from the watch, it's got 4 gigabytes of storage for music. You need to get yourself a Bluetooth headset. And to be honest, if you're going to do that, you might as well have a wire headset or Bluetooth headset to your phone and use its massive amount of storage, and it probably already has your music library already on there. So again, I say dubious use cases for it, but yeah, neat if you can get them cheap enough. Thanks for listening.